Good evening, everybody. Counselor Michelle Brocco here. I want to thank CB and the boys for allowing me to have the opportunity to chime in on the hot topic of why so many people want to be sheep. Well, in my personal opinion, the most simplistic reason, it's easy. It's easy to be a sheep. You don't have to think. You don't have to have an opinion. You can just follow what everybody else is doing. That is the number one reason why a person would want to be a sheep. Because they're lazy. I mean, you think about it. We are all, at some point in time in our lives, sheep. Because whatever we're taught, whether it's politics, culture, opinions, whatever, it is presented to us by somebody else. And if it sounds good enough to us, most of the time we just go with it. I mean, social media is a prime example of this. People believe pretty much anything they see on social media now. And even though it's been verified that um, social media has a lot of quote unquote fake news, we still tend to believe it. How many celebrities have had to disprove that they're really alive, even though it's been said that they were dead? Politics is a big thing when it comes to people being sheep. There's this way or that way. And a politician will sit there and gather information, not necessarily factual, to build a platform, build a foundation, and then all they have to do is make it sound good. As long as it makes sense, it's good enough. And we as a human species tend to be a creature of curiosity. We want to know why something happens, why someone feels the way they do, why things are going on in the world that they are. And it takes more out of a person to actually have to research it and look up information. Whereas if they just follow somebody else who's already supposedly done the research and gathered the information, then hey, why should we have to do that? So the short end of it, in my professional opinion, is that so many people want to be sheep because it's easy. They don't have to think about it. They don't have to do any extra homework or anything. Just, well, this person said this. There's been statistics done, and sounds good, so why should I question it? Which can be the most destructive, most debilitating thing that we can do, not only for ourselves individually, but as a country, as a group, as a people, to sit there and just be so complacent and okay with just following whatever is the norm for that moment, or whatever most everybody else believes, or the popular opinion. That can be so bad when it comes to us as a people, because so much misinformation is out there, and it's a lot of times used to divide us. So being a sheep just makes it even worse. What does a herder do when they're herding their sheep? They separate them. They make sure that they are in a group and that nothing else is intrusive or comes in to that herd. And it's basically the same concept, that people will put an idea or an opinion or a group out there, and then what they'll do is they'll make sure that anybody who might question their views or their morals or whatever their opinion may be, they'll block that. So they'll make sure that everybody consistently believes the same thing and nobody questions it. That's why we have to ensure as a people that we use our mind to question things, to do our research, to make sure that we're not okay with being sheep. Now, don't get me wrong. There can be some instances where being a sheep is not all that bad. Like when you're with a group of friends and y'all are trying to figure out what you want to do or where you want to go for a trip or an adventure. And yeah, be a sheep. Then you don't have to be the one to make the plans. Let somebody else figure it out. But when it comes to important topics or important things like human rights, civil rights, we should never ever want to be a sheep. And we should encourage anybody who's just kind of floating through life as following this person or that person to don't just do it because it's easy. If you truly believe that, then that's fine. But don't be that person that's just, sounds good to me. It's good enough. Too many people want to be sheep because it's easy. Too many people want to be sheep because they're lazy. And we are too intelligent of a people, of a species, to just be like, oh, that sounds good, so let's just do that.